we are back, except for my sunflowers. They are not. They died. They had to be thrown out. So I have my peace lily back. So, talking about motivation, which a lot of us are really struggling with. It's really hard to find the motivation to train, to eat well, to do all the things that we know we should be doing, especially now that we have like all this time. You know, before being in isolation, it was like, I just don't have the time to exercise or eat well. It's too inconvenient. And now it's like, well, we have the time, but now I'm lacking the motivation. So how do we overcome these challenges? I think at the end of the day, regardless of what the excuse is, whether it's time, you're too busy, or whether it's a lack of motivation, you don't have the right environment, you don't have the right timing, whatever it is, these are things that we just do not want to do. Or perhaps rather than saying we don't want to do them, we don't feel like doing them. And we're never going to feel like doing them, okay? So we have to stop waiting to feel like doing these things that are challenging, they're uncomfortable, and they're usually really inconvenient. So what do we do if we've got these things that we know we need to do, but we never feel like doing them? Here's one thing to think about. Once they're done, you feel good, right? So rather than focusing on the feeling you need, the feeling that's required before you do that thing, focus on the reward that's kind of at the end of the tunnel, like the light at the end of the tunnel. You know you're going to feel good when the work is done. That is the only thing that is going to make you feel better, doing the work. So do it for the result. Do it for the reward that's at the end. The other thing is that I say is a lot, so I apologize. The other thing is we just need to take that first step. And once we've taken the first step, the rest of it tends to take care of itself. At least in a way it does, because once we've started the momentum of doing the thing, like the training or the meal prepping, once we've started, the rest of it's fairly organic and fairly automatic. So like a writer sitting down to do a book, the hardest thing is the first page. That is the first step that they need to take, and then they're on a roll. So once they get that first step done, if they can just get that tiny bit out of the way, then the rest of it takes care of itself. And it's the same thing with your training or with meal prepping and having healthy food at home. The first step could be buying the groceries, just having the fresh meat and veg that you need in the fridge, so that you've got the food there ready to prep. Okay, that could be the first step. For training, the first step may just be putting on your gym shoes, having your gym gear and lacing up your shoes. Like that might be the one thing that you need to do that almost guarantees that the rest of it's going to happen. So for me, for example, if I have to go swimming, which I don't like doing, I never feel like swimming. Once I have my swimsuit on, like I know I'm going to go swimming. I know that it's going to happen. The swimsuit on is like the step 1, and the 1.2 of that, like that confirms that I'm going swimming, is when I'm in the car. When I'm in the car, I know it's going to happen. It doesn't matter where I'm going, whether I feel like it or not, I know I'm going to be swimming. So at home, maybe you need to focus your energy and attention not on what's the workout that you're going to do, what time am I going to train, where am I going to do it, and how am I going to make the program work for me, and all those kinds of big questions. Why don't you just focus on how do I need to ensure that I get my gym gear on and I lace up my shoes? What is it that I need to do to make sure that that happens? Because that's just the first step. That's just the main thing that's going to help you get the rest of it done, okay? Or it could be know what the workout's going to be, okay? It might literally be as simple as know what your session is. So you may need to plan the week on a Sunday night. Okay, and just know what your session is going to be, so you can't sit there procrastinating around, well, what workout might I do? Maybe I'll do this. I've been kind of wanting to do this, and I don't really feel like doing that one, so maybe I'll pick this one today. And I don't know, maybe I'll just think about it a little bit longer, and I can't really decide, so I guess I'll just procrastinate some more, right? We've all had those dilemmas, so we kind of need to cut through a lot of that thinking about it and the gathering information and just move towards the taking action step. So what is the very first step? The thing that's going to help you get the job done, because you're not going to feel like it. So you need something that is actionable and really specific to what it is that you're trying to accomplish, so that you know that when you do that thing, when you take that step, the thing that you know you need to do, but you don't really feel like doing, is going to happen because you decided to make it happen, because you took action. And the best thing about taking action is that action manifests motivation. All right, it's not the other way around. I know we're waiting for motivation and we're waiting to feel good and waiting to feel like doing it. It doesn't happen that way. Like I said, you got to do it for the feeling that you get afterwards. That is when you find motivation. Do the work. I promise you the motivation and the results and the desire to keep going is going to come. You just got to do the work first. So whatever that first step is, whatever it takes to get that work done, figure it out and start implementing that each day.